Phineas Gage was 26 when his life changed forever. He was a railroad construction worker whose job was to use a tamping iron to press gunpowder into rock. The rock would then explode using dynamite. He was a kind worker who was almost impossible to anger. He was great with his team of men, knowing how to lead them. It was the year 1848 when it happened. The tamping iron shot upward. The tamping iron had been dropped on accident. It was possible Phineas got distracted or heard something, because the second the explosion happened, the tamping iron was in the air. It hit Phineas, passing through his left cheek and forehead. It injured most of his frontal lobe, his left eye, and the roof of his mouth. However, the accident changed his personality. Phineas lived for another 11 years until the accident cost him his life. Phineas Gage was immediately rushed to see Dr. Harlow. When they realized Dr. Harlow was not there, Phineas was examined by another doctor until Dr. Harlow arrived. When Dr. Harlow examined him, he discovered a hole where the tamping iron had penetrated. He bandaged his head and instructed him to stay in one position. His early recovery was quite fast, as he could still walk, talk, and do other things. Though his recovery had seemed complete, it in fact was not. He tried to return to working at the railroad. He was let go by the railroad company who had once honored him as one of their best workers. Unfortunately, Phineas was now different. He was no longer Gage. Doctors were surprised when Phineas was presented to them. How could this man possibly be alive? And better yet, how could he walk and talk? Early scientists, as they did not have the technology we had today, could only make educated guesses. They were split between two groups, the whole-brainers and the localizers. The whole-brainers believed the body worked as one unified organ. The localizers believed each part of the brain controlled a different function. Phineas showed that each part of the brain has a different job, and that if one part was injured, another couldn't cover for it. In 2004, a group of researchers conducted some scans on Phineas' skull to digitally recreate his brain after the work of the Damasio's. They discovered what parts of the frontal lobe were destroyed and how personality is linked to those parts. Phineas Gage's case also teaches us that our behavior is connected to our brain. They tried to understand how his brain worked/looked after the accident and how much damage was done to his frontal lobe. Phineas Gage's story is still not complete, as scientists are still studying his skull to find out more. However, brain science has improved with Phineas Gage's case. We know more about the frontal lobe and our personality. Science has since developed from the 1800s. We have technology and research to help us find more about the brain and its parts. Back in the 1800s, they could only make educated guesses. How is it that Phineas Gage has helped our science improve so much? And what can we learn from his story?